Guys, I can't believe it. We already have information, leaks, rumors, and set descriptions for 2026 Lego Ninjago sets. And guys, we have some of the greatest news of all time. I'm losing my mind here, guys. I'm losing my mind. I had to sit down as fast as I could and make this leaks and rumors video for you for 2026 Lego Ninjago. If you enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe down below. Don't forget to drop a comment letting me know how excited you are for these leaks and rumors. So how we're gonna do today's video is, first off, we're gonna sit down and talk about the standard Dragons Rising Season 4 set wave. So we've got the January and then a couple set numbers for March. So we're gonna talk about those first. And then I'm gonna save the greatest news of all time for last. We're gonna dive into those three sets. And by those three sets, I mean OG Ninjago's triumphant return. All right, guys, so starting this off with the January wave of Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 4 sets, we're starting off with Kohls Car Polybag, $4.99 here. I hope that this has two minifigures because these two minifigure Lego Ninjago Polybags have really been knocking it out of the park for the last year or two at this point. And so I'm really hoping that this is going to stay consistent and have two minifigures. But I could see this going two different directions. It could either have minifigures to begin with, or it could just be Kohls' car. It's entirely possible. We've seen sets recently, or polybags recently as well, like the miniature Zane's combo mech set, or the miniature Zane's ice dragon creature set. There's been multiple small polybag builds just for miniature versions of sets. I see that being entirely possible here. So while I hope that this has two minifigures, I would assume that this is just a micro version of a Ninjago set to come later next year. So that's entirely possible. I really hope it's like just a small little car build and it's got Cole and maybe one of these new elemental monster minifigures, but I don't see that. I assume that this will probably be just a small micro scale car build, which is definitely unfortunate. I would have definitely liked, something different, but it is what it is. Now, next up here, we have the gimmick set for 2026, and that is going to be the Nia versus Elemental Monster Spinner Battle and the Lloyd versus Elemental Master Spinner Battle. So, first off, the first thing I want to say here is that this would be like the first gimmick set line to not have a Kai gimmick, which I do think is definitely odd. Now, from what I've seen, there's supposed to be 3 gimmick sets, so this is probably not the full list of sets to begin with. This is just the first bit of information that we have. But from other information I was given, there were supposed to be 3 gimmick sets. So I would assume that Kai's going to get one here. I mean, this would be the first gimmick set in all of Ninjago's history that Kai is not a part of. So, I find that odd that they would just stop it right here, considering that Kai's is probably the best-selling one at the same time. So, I would assume there's going to be a third gimmick set. There's typically 3 in a gimmick set, 2. I don't think we've ever had just 2 gimmick sets either. It always, the kind of minimum is 3. So I would assume one more gimmick set here onto this list. Like I said, I was given other information from somebody else, and that said that there were 3 gimmick sets, and this one only says 2. This information from someone I have says there's only 2. Remember, we're still 6 months out. Stuff is definitely subject to change. These are still leaks and rumors at the end of the day, but I would assume that there will be a third gimmick with Kai in there if you were wondering about that. But this says $9.99. First off, very, very glad that it is still $9.99, a $10 gimmick set. I think that once you get over $10 for the gimmick sets, it's just kind of, you're losing value entirely at, every dollar over that you go. So I think that, even with inflation and what the money's like in the world right now, I'm glad to still see it at $10. I think that this is something Lego definitely could have raised to $11.99, considering that that's what Lego typically does. It's, raise their price and everything they possibly can. So seeing it still maintain $10 is definitely good to see. And it sounds like here, we're going to get 2 small spinners and, Elemental Monster versus Nia and Elemental Monster versus Lloyd and, hopefully Elemental Monster versus Kai. So it sounds like 2 minifigures in here as well for $10. Cannot go wrong with that. So excited to see these. Gimmick sets are what they are. They're usually pretty garbage and nobody cares about them. But hey, as long as it's got a cool exclusive minifigure or a cool minifigure in general and it gives you a chance to get some minifigures and stuff for cheap, I'll take it. Let's move on. Now, next up here is one that I'm very, very excited for reading this title. It is the Kai's Dragon Mech Battle Pack for $10. $10 Battle Pack. When I think Battle Pack, my mind is going right back to that Jay's Elemental Battle Pack from like 2 years ago. I guess it was last year, early January of last year. But that's definitely where my mind goes. It's one of the best Ninjago sets that we've had released in years. I mean, the value for $10 was phenomenal. I know it was a very well-selling set. Everybody I talked to absolutely loved it. Everybody was picking up at least one of them. I am very excited for this. Dragon Mech for Kai, it is what it is, $10, which, it's another mech for Kai on shelves at the same time. There's going to be like 4 or 5 Kai mechs on the shelf at the same time. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Clearly, Ninjago has no idea what to build other than mechs at this point. I think that'll be pretty evident with this whole, this list as well. It's just kind of, we're always back to mechs. But very excited for this. I'm really hoping for the 4 minifigures again, just like that J1 from a couple of years ago. Still a couple of years ago, man. My time in my head is messed up, guys. But a year and a half ago, and very, very excited for this one. Very, very excited. I think that this could hold extremely good value if they stick to it. Even if it has 3 minifigures, I think I'd be okay with that. I'm going to prefer 4, but I think even if it has 3 figures, it'd be great. If it's got 2 figures, it'll be a flop. But hey, 3 to 4 minifigures in here, going to be phenomenal. Let's move on. Okay, so next up here we have Kohls Mission Mech and Dragon Zane set for $30 US. Which, this is one that we obviously don't know a lot about. Once again, the mechs, and they're picking mechs for the same people. This is where, my mind is a little boggled. Because they keep picking to make mechs for the same characters and put them on the shelf at the same time. Keep in mind, on shelves right now is the Kohls Elemental Mech from last January, the Kohls Titan Mech, and then we're going to be moving right on to Kohls Mission Mech. So I don't know why we're picking the same, mechs for the same characters over and over again. For Kai, we have the Elemental Mech from last year. We have the Climber Mech. We have the brand new Kai's Legends Mech. We're moving on next year to this Kai's Dragon Mech for $10. Like, I don't know. Switch it up, gang. Switch it up. You've got plenty of characters in Ninjago to make sets for. And kind of hammering down these mechs for the same characters over and over again when, characters like Nia really don't have a mech. I don't know. I just think it was an odd choice to see Cole's name on here for another mech because, Cole never gets any sets to begin with, and then now all of a sudden he's got 3 mechs within a year and a half, so I don't know. It just seems like a lot of mech. Let's be real. There's mechs everywhere. There's mechs everywhere you look. You go to Target and there's just mechs. You look in the Marvel section, there's mechs. You look in the Star Wars section, there's mechs. You look in the Ninjago section, there's mechs. Dreams, mechs. Lego. Who's got this fetish for mechs? It's just mechs everywhere. Mechs. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's another mech set. Man, somebody get a counter going. How many times have I said mechs in this video? But for real, guys, it is what it is. It is what it is. I have seen one of the Dragon minifigures. I have also seen the villain minifigures, but we'll talk about those in a little bit. And, actually kind of like it. The more I look at it, I like the Dragon minifigures. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's move on to the next set. Next up, we have Ninja Dragon Rayu Battle. I don't know who named this set, first off. I'm laughing. I don't know who named this set. It's a pretty rough name. Ninja Dragon Rayu Battle? Why wouldn't they just do Ninja Ryu's Battle? Why Ninja Dragon Ryu Battle? I mean, it ain't the best. It ain't the best. But I mean, it's going to be another Ryu set. I mean, we've seen a lot of Ryu, but I mean, if it's as good as the Dragon build included with the Zane's combo vehicle, I mean, I'm going to be pretty excited for that. But I think, once again, it's going to be the price on this. We don't have the price for this set. And so if this is up into the $45, $50 range, as of recent years, the $40, $50 Dragons just have not been hitting it home. They've just been kind of rough. So I'm hoping that this is more of like a $20, $25 set. You know, will it be? Probably not. But I mean, I would hope it would be. But I mean, I don't see that happening. I see this being another $50 Dragon set. And unless Ryu's like really grown up, I mean, let's be real, he grows pretty fast. So maybe Ryu will be pretty grown up here in the next season of Dragons Rising. But other than that, $45 Dragon sets just aren't doing it for me these days. I mean, the Wildfire Dragon, Heat Wave Lava Transforming Dragon, that one was not a good set at all. I mean, that one was like 50, 60% off clearance and no one would buy it. And then, of course, we have the Rontu Dragon, and nobody is very excited about that one either because it just doesn't look like Rontu. So this is going to be another one of those that we'll have to see what happens with it. Hopefully a couple good minifigures in here, but speculation, I just hope it's just as good of a build as the one in the Zane's Combo vehicle mech set from this year, because that one is awesome. So I'm hoping to get him down at a lower price point so that more people can afford a good Ryu build. Next up, we've got Jay's Transforming Car. So first off, I'd like to note that it's back to being called Jay and not Rogue. So I assume Jay will be back on the team officially. You know, his memories will be back and stuff. That's what I assume, especially since we've got his name back here. Because everything with Jay being evil, you know, it's been Rogue this year. So seeing Jay's name back is fantastic. Love to see Jay's return here. But Jay's Transforming Car. At the end of the day, it's another car. I can't see this being too expensive, too. The car sets usually aren't very expensive. They just kind of fill a spot, and it is what it is. But, hey, it's for Jay. And I mean, the last time we had a Jay car was 4+ set released right now. And before that, it was the core line. So, you know, we'll see what happens with this set. But seeing the car, typically I'm not a big fan of the car sets. I know some people really like them. Some people really don't like them. I'm definitely in the boat of people that I'm just not a big fan of the Ninjago car sets. You know, there's some really good ones like the Ninja Nightcrawler and from Season 8 for Lloyd. But other than that, I'm just not a big fan of the car sets. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I just hope that this one doesn't cost too much money. This next one here has another fantastic name. Ninja Vehicle Battle at the Treehouse. Ninja Vehicle Battle at the Treehouse. I mean, come on, that's just a funny name, guys. That's hilarious. Like, what on earth? It is one heck of a name. It really is. But hey, you know what? When I hear Treehouse, that's something new for Ninjago. That's something new for Ninjago. I don't think we've gotten like Treehouse built, like an actual treehouse. This could be cool. This is different. This is finally something different. After reading this list, you know, it's Gimmick, Mech, Car, Dragon, Treehouse. That's something new. That's something new. So, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a win. That is a win. Now, my only hesitation here is that it says Ninja Vehicle Battle at the Treehouse. So, half of this set is going to be stuck with the Ninja Vehicle. And obviously, I mean, combo vehicle 3 years in a row would be nuts, would it not be? That would be crazy. Combo vehicles, you know, that would be nuts. What I'm hoping here is that the set is not taken up entirely by a vehicle, and there's just a small little, like, $20 treehouse to the right. I'm hoping that it's the reverse. I'm hoping it's some big, cool treehouse with some ninja vehicles to the side there. You know, just some small vehicles. Because a treehouse is a new concept here. I might be forgetting something at the moment, but I really don't think tree houses is something we've ever really seen. So, I'm excited here. something new, something unique. That's what I'm asking for. That's what I'm looking for in 2026. So definitely excited for this one. But I think that it's either going to be a really big hit or a really big miss. Trying to get a whole Ninja vehicle and a treehouse into one build. If this thing is less than 120, $200, either one of the builds are going to get, kind of screwed. And even at $120, I still don't know how you could get a full Ninja vehicle in there and still a good treehouse. I mean, I could really only see this set working out good at like $200, just so you could have a big, cool treehouse and a Ninja vehicle. And I just don't see this being the $200 set of the wave. It could be, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Leave your speculation down in the comments below for Ninja Vehicle Battle at the Treehouse. One heck of a name, one heck of a set. I'm very intrigued by this, to say the least. I'm very intrigued. So maybe I'll make some designs and some custom ideas, for what this set could be in a video here soon. So stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the next set on the list here. All right, so the next set on the list here is the Dragon of Life. And so this one is definitely very exciting for me. I've really been loving these dragon builds recently. They've been doing a phenomenal job at these expensive dragons. I mean, recently, the Ninjago Legends dragon is just, it's breathtaking. It's a work of art. It is a work of art. Check out my review if you have not already. It is just a work of art. And last year's, the Source Dragon Emotion is also a work of art. The Thunderfang Dragon set is a phenomenal set. So they've really been knocking it out of the park with these dragon set builds. And so I'm very excited for this. I'm really hoping Dragon of Life is not a green dragon. When you think of life, I'm thinking it's going to end up being green. And I would just hate to see that. I would hate to see another green dragon on shelves right next to the green dragon we already have on shelves. This is kind of, what I was talking about with the mechs earlier a little bit. You're getting so many of the same looking mech on shelves next to each other. I mean, with Kai he's going to have 4 sets of mechs on shelves unless they retire the 2024 ones. He's going to have 4 mechs on shelves, and just for Kai, that's just 4 mechs on shelves for Kai. So I really hope this dragon isn't green. I really hope it isn't green, because having 2 big green dragons on shelves next to each other, it just looks the same. It's just boring. It's, switch up the color schemes, switch up something about it. So obviously that's just my speculation. I would assume the Life Dragon is going to be green, but I don't know. And I really hope that this is at that $150 price point. Or 120, somewhere in there, because I want it to kind of be able to sit in line with the Source Dragon Emotion. If this is the Source Dragon of Life, I would love for it to be able to sit and look good displayed next to the Source Dragon Emotion. So since they've already created that size, for the Source Dragon Emotion, we kind of have something to go off of and something to expect. So I'm really hoping that it's, comparable to that set. And that's going to only happen at a $120, $150 price point. But let's get to the part you guys are all talking about. Everybody's here waiting for. OG Ninjago. Obviously, guys, these are still leaks and rumors, so take everything in this video with a grain of salt. It's a leak and rumor at the end of the day. But this first set seems pretty solid to me, because I was shown a leaked image of something relating to this set. And it basically solidifies the existence of this set and its existence in general. I'm screaming. I'm screaming, crying, tears of joy. Tears of joy, everybody. Ninjago anniversary sets. The 4 Weapons Blacksmith Shop. 14 plus set. Guys, literally tears in the old eyes. When I did a video like last year talking about what I want to see for anniversary sets, the Blacksmith was legitimately the first set we talked about. And this is the one that is pretty solid that it's going to happen. That it exists. I mean, seriously, dream come true for us OG fans that have been here for 15 years. I've been a fan of Ninjago for almost 15 years, since the day it released. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I genuinely hope this is like $100+ set. I want it to be phenomenal. I want them to knock it out of the park. I don't want this to be some $20 Blacksmith. I want the real deal. And I will pay anything that they put a price tag on it for, as long as they did it good. Next up, we have the Old Town 14 Plus. Now, the Old Town, there's been a lot of speculation, but definitely my mind goes straight to Jamanakai Village. I definitely see this set being Jamanakai Village. When I think about OG Ninjago, Jamanakai Village plays a pretty crucial role in OG Ninjago back in the day. And we see it quite often in OG media. So I think that Jamanakai Village would make sense for this. When they're talking Old Town, that's really the only thing that comes to my mind. I can't think of anything else it would be, unless it's something from season 1, which, I mean, Jamanakai Village is season 1. It's like the first episode of season 1. I don't know. I don't know. I really can't see anything outside Jamanakai Village. I just can't. I think that's what it is. I think of all the stuff for them to pick, I think it's an odd choice. I think, in my anniversary video, or my video a few months ago when we talked about what we'd like to see for 2026, that was definitely not on the list of really what anybody wanted to see. I mentioned Fire Temple, the Underworld. If we're going into season 1, the Slither Pit, or not the Slither Pit, City Ouroboros, the Snake Train, revamped vehicles for the Ninja, Ed and Edna's Junkyard. I think that there's so many options when we dive into season 1, season 2, and, the pilots to celebrate OG, that Jamanakai Village definitely was not on my list. But, does not mean I'm not excited as crap, guys. I'm still very excited here. I'll take anything OG related. And this is very exciting. I'm trying to contain myself here, guys. I'm trying to contain myself. And finally, the last one that we have, anniversary set, is the Display 8 Plus set. So this one actually is confusing to me. It says Ninja Anniversary Display, that's 8 Plus. So, first off, the set being 8 Plus definitely confused me, because if this is a display set, why would this one not be 14 Plus like the other two? Especially since it says it's an anniversary display. So I think that the 8 Plus is kind of throwing me off there, because when you think of a display set, you don't think of 8 Plus. So maybe this ends up being more of like a play set. But I really have no idea. I have no idea what this is. This could be small, like micro builds, and like a line of like each of the OG sets and stuff like that. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to have some more videos just for OG Ninjago, of course, over the next couple days, deep diving into these sets, what I want to see, how it should be made. But this one, it definitely... I don't know. I mean, the best I could think of is like micro scale displays of each of the locations from OG. Like, I don't know, maybe this spot of each of the 4 weapons of Spinjitzu, like Caves of Despair, where they find the nunchucks, the lightning, shuriken's vice, and then of course the Fire Temple. So I could definitely see that as like a little display. That would be really cool. But once again, why would that be 8 Plus? You would think of that more as an adult collector set. So I don't know. I think that 8 Plus kind of confused me a little bit. If they were all 14 Plus, then I'd say, okay, this is going to be like a micro scale display thing. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to end up being like the Ninjago logo. I mean, recently we saw the Marvel logo and the Star Wars logo. Ninjago logo brick built. That would be really dang cool. But once again, why would that be 8 Plus? So I don't know. Definitely a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about that in videos here upcoming and very soon. Finally, the last bit of information for the anniversary sets is there will be exclusive collectible minifigures. Heck yeah, boys. Heck yeah. That's exactly what I talked about. I had like 3 or 4 videos a couple months ago breaking this stuff down, talking about it. And it's coming true. It's coming true. So, exclusive collectible minifigures. The first thing that I'm saying, actually, the main thing, I'm going to have a full video breaking this down, of course. We're going to talk about anniversary minifigures and stuff like that. But for one little bit of my, where my mind's sitting, because a lot of people have been asking me, yo, W, what minifigures do you want to see for anniversary? The easiest option that I think they could do, bring back the exact same 2011 minifigures. Kai J. Zane Cole. That's it. Kai J. Zane Cole. No Lloyd, no Nia, nothing. This is OG. OG is the 4 ninja. No Sensei Wu, nothing. The 4 main ninja. The exact same prints, everything, exact same minifigures, paint him gold. OG Golden Kai, OG Golden Cole, OG Golden Zane, OG Golden Jay. 4 OG sets, or maybe put 2 in one set. And then put like a celebrating 15 years logo on the back, like they do with Lego Star Wars minifigures. 15 years, exact same minifigure, but change them gold. Those OG hood pieces are still in production, so it can be done. Do it. Do it, Lego. Do it. I don't know what else they could do for, I do. There's plenty of anniversary minifigures, and, let's just say an anniversary collectible minifigure series would, I think, please everyone on Earth, but we're going to talk about that in a couple videos, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. With that being said, guys, it's going to be the end of the video. I guess there is one more little piece of information. There are supposed to be 2 sets releasing in March, a 4+ set and a 14+ display adult collector set, or adult Lego Ninjago adult 14+, not 18+. And I've heard that this is supposed to be the monastery. When I find it, I don't know if that's completely true. That bit of information about it being the monastery, I don't know if that's true, but I will find out, and I'll have a video out on it here in a couple days. So make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to drop a comment down below letting me know how excited you are for this Ninjago information. I'm literally screaming, crying, peeing my pants. I am so excited about this stuff, guys. This is phenomenal. Thank you, guys, for spending your time here with me today. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Thank you, guys, and I'll see y'all later on W Breaks.